Today we're stepping into one of the greatest what-ifs in basketball history. Imagine Michael Jordan, the ultimate competitor, dropped straight into today's NBA. This is the guy who walked away from the game with 6 rings, 6 MVPs, 10 scoring titles, and an aura that made defenders fold before the ball was even tipped. In the '90s season, he was untouchable, an assassin who lived for the big moment. But the league has changed. Hand-checking is gone. Threes rule the game. And big men aren't bruisers anymore. They stretch the floor. So the question is simple. Would MJ still dominate in this era of pace and space? Or would the modern NBA find a way to slow down the greatest ever?
Michael Jordan is not only the best basketball player, but he's the most exciting basketball player to ever play. We only dream about doing things that he can do.
Right now, join Amazing Hoops as we explore. If Michael Jordan truly stepped into today's NBA, would he still dominate the league? Or face challenges like never before? The 2002 NBA draft would never be the same. In reality, Jay Williams' tragic motorcycle accident ended his career before it truly began. But in this alternate timeline, his disappearance opened the door for the greatest what-if in basketball history. Michael Jordan stepping in at number 2 to the Chicago Bulls. From the very first tip-off, the league realized this wasn't just nostalgia, it was dominance reborn. Jordan came out firing, averaging a jaw-dropping 28 points per game on efficient shooting. He dragged the Bulls to an 85-win equivalent pace, resurrecting the franchise almost single-handedly. Chicago stormed into the playoffs, and although the team fell in the first round to the New Jersey Nets, Jordan left the world stunned by dropping 50 points in an elimination game, a performance that echoed his legendary Boston Garden outburst in 86 seasons. The league had no choice but to crown him Rookie of the Year, edging out Amare Stoudemire. He's not just a rookie. TNT's Kenny Smith remarked on air, he's already the best scorer in basketball. Kobe Bryant, just 3 years older and already an All-NBA first-teamer, took notice too.
And Michael Jordan is somebody that I've always looked up to and I want to play against him.
For fans, it has already been seen. Chicago once again had their basketball savior. For players, it was a warning. The GOAT had returned, not as a shadow of his past self, but as a new-era superstar. Leading into the 2004 NBA season, Jordan was eager to prove that his greatness would carry into this new era. But the modern NBA was not without its perils. In only the 3rd game of the season, disaster struck. Jordan went down with a broken foot, a shocking twist for a player who, up to that point, had been the definition of durability. In both college and his early NBA career, Jordan had never missed a single game due to injury. Back in 1986, when the same injury happened, Jordan famously ignored the training staff's advice to sit out, forcing his way back into the lineup because Chicago was still in the playoff hunt. But 2004 was different. These Bulls were nowhere near contention, and so, this time, the organization made the painful but prudent choice. Jordan would be shut down for the rest of the year. Without him, Chicago collapsed. They finished with the worst record in the NBA, and the loss of rookie Kirk Hinrich and other role players only deepened the wounds. Yet, there was a silver lining. The draft lottery rewarded their misery, handing them the number 1 pick. And with it, the Bulls landed Dwight Howard, a freakishly athletic defensive big man who would soon become one of the most dominant presences in the league. Kobe Bryant, who would soon carry the torch of competitiveness into a new era, put it best when he reflected on Jordan's influence.
What I found that he was extremely open to having a relationship, a mentor relationship, and giving me a great amount of advice.
He continued,
I don't think people really understand the amount of impact that he's had on me as a player and as a leader.
As Shaquille O'Neal later commented in a TNT interview, "You give Mike a guy like Dwight to protect the paint? That's scary. That's a championship waiting to happen." And so, despite the heartbreak, the 2004 season set the stage for something greater, Jordan's return, now paired with a defensive anchor who could change everything. After a lost year to injury, all eyes were on Michael Jordan in 2005. Could the legend bounce back? The answer came fast. Jordan stormed into the season like a man possessed. He averaged over 35 points per game while shooting nearly 50% from the floor, numbers that instantly silenced the doubters. It wasn't just scoring. His efficiency in an era built around spacing and defensive schemes proved he could dominate any era. With rookie Dwight Howard protecting the rim and pulling down boards, the Bulls improved by 9 wins, climbing all the way to the number 2 seed in the East. Howard himself admitted later, "It felt like playing next to Superman. You knew Mike was going to score. My job was simple: block shots and let him cook. Jordan's play earned him first-team All-NBA honors, edging out Allen Iverson. The matchup was personal. Iverson, never shy about his pride, told reporters, "If Mike's back, we all gotta deal with it." That's still his league. The playoffs reflected the same reality. Chicago dismantled Iverson's Sixers in the first round, MJ putting on a masterclass of mid-range footwork and killer instinct. But against a seasoned Detroit Pistons squad, the Bulls' lack of a reliable point guard caught up to them. Detroit's balance and depth were too much, closing out Chicago in 6 games. Still, the message was clear. Jordan was back, and his reign of terror had only just begun. The 2006 NBA season was a turning point for Michael Jordan in the modern era, a year when the league could no longer ignore his dominance. Returning to a Bulls roster that had gradually built around him, Jordan quickly established himself as the engine of Chicago's offense. Every play seemed to flow through him, and he responded by averaging over 35 points per game while shooting efficiently, reminding the league why he had been considered the greatest. As Scottie Pippen once said in an interview reflecting on Jordan's career, "He makes everyone around him better. You can't guard his mind, his heart, or his game." The Bulls, fueled by Jordan's brilliance, secured the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference, signaling a return to relevance for a franchise eager to reclaim its glory days. The playoffs brought new intensity, as the Bulls clashed with Dwayne Wade's Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Jordan delivered unforgettable performances night after night, often shouldering the team on his back. But the Heat, powered by Shaquille O'Neal's dominant post presence and Wade's slashing ability, pushed the series to 7 games. Despite Jordan's historic output, including multiple 40-plus point games, the Bulls fell short, highlighting both the greatness and the limits of even the most transcendent player. Jordan's 2006 season, however, was immortalized by the league with his first modern-era MVP award. LeBron James later reflected on Jordan's dominance, saying in a 2018 interview, "Watching MJ in today's game, you see why he's untouchable. He'd still be the best player on the floor every night." For Chicago, and for basketball fans everywhere, the 2006 season reaffirmed that Michael Jordan's legacy transcends eras. The 2007 season marked a pivotal moment for Jordan and the Bulls. The franchise was no longer just built around a single superstar. It was shaping a championship-ready core. The front office made a decisive move by drafting Brandon Roy, a versatile combo guard who could complement Jordan's scoring while providing playmaking from the perimeter. Meanwhile, Luol Deng emerged as the Bulls' glue guy, bridging defense and offense with consistency. Dwight Howard, making his first All-Star appearance, established himself as a defensive anchor, intimidating opponents in the paint. Chicago rolled through the regular season, amassing 60 wins and claiming the top seed in the Eastern Conference. Jordan's stats were staggering: 32 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals per game, a complete stat line reflecting his dominance on every end of the floor. As LeBron James put it in a later interview, "Facing MJ, you realize talent like his doesn't just score points. It changes how you play the game." In the Eastern Conference Finals, the Bulls met LeBron's Cavaliers. Despite James's heroic effort, Chicago's balanced roster, anchored by Jordan's leadership, proved too much. The Bulls dispatched Cleveland in 5 games, securing a finals berth. But the NBA Finals proved a different challenge. Tim Duncan's experience and the Spurs' disciplined system exploited Chicago's young core, ending the Bulls' championship run in 6 games. Still, the season underscored a vital point. Jordan was no longer carrying a team alone. He was leading a dynasty in formation. This chapter of Jordan's modern NBA journey highlighted the fusion of veteran excellence and emerging talent, setting the stage for future glory. The 2008 seasons marked the pinnacle of years of meticulous preparation. Chicago had finally assembled a roster deep enough to compete with the league's elite, combining youth and experience in a way that complemented Michael Jordan's unrivaled talent. The Eastern Conference Finals would pit the Bulls against a reloaded Boston Celtics, featuring Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Ray Allen, their Big Three, forming one of the most formidable squads of the modern era. Game 7 was a grueling, edge-of-your-seat battle. With 20 seconds left, and the game tied, Jordan found himself double-teamed at the top of the arc. In a moment that captured the essence of his basketball IQ, he kicked the ball out to Brandon Roy, who drained a decisive three-pointer. As Roy later recalled in a post-game interview, "MJ trusted me at that moment. I just had to make the shot." Jordan's defensive prowess sealed the win in the final seconds, tipping the ball away to send Chicago to the finals. The championship series was a clash of legends. Michael Jordan versus Kobe Bryant. Facing MJ was like staring at the definition of greatness, Kobe would later admit. But Jordan, unfazed by the hype, elevated his play to historic heights. With precise mid-range jumpers, relentless drives, and unmatched leadership, he outperformed Kobe, guiding Chicago to their first modern-era championship. As Shaquille O'Neal commented on the finals, "I've never seen anyone take over a series like that in today's game." The victory not only cemented Jordan's legacy across eras, but also hinted at the dynasty that Chicago's young roster would build around him. Chicago hits warp speed. 70 wins. Nights feel like exhibitions for a machine that doesn't miss. Jordan lives above the nail, carving teams with jab steps and mid-post footwork, then detonating in transition. Brandon Roy looks fearless. Calm dribble, smooth pull-up, big boy reads. Dwight Howard, a moving wall. He erases drives, swallows lobs, and controls the glass like it owes him rent. The numbers say it all. Historic defense anchored by a prime rim protector, and the tape screams even louder. Playoffs, first round handled. Semis, done. Then the sweep. LeBron's Cavs run into a red storm. Chicago traps high, rotates on a string, and every close game ends the same. MJ dictates crunch time like a metronome. LeBron's greatness is obvious, but even he once framed the bar he's chasing. My motivation is this ghost I'm chasing. The ghost played in Chicago. Finals, Bulls Lakers, Jordan versus Kobe on the biggest stage. Again. Roy clips 20 a night, Howard tilts the paint, and Deng does all the little things coaches dream about. Kobe's shot-making is nuclear, but the mentorship lineage is real. "I don't get 5 championships without Michael," he once said. Game 5 in LA becomes lore. Jordan hits a hanging banker through contact, then finds Roy for a dagger wing 3. Howard seals the series with a two-hand denial at the rim. Classic DPOY energy. Buzzer. Confetti. Title No. 2 in this timeline, back-to-back. The league just watched peak MJ reimagined for modern spacing. Same hunger, faster pace, sharper reads. And somewhere in the echoes of the handshake line, Kobe's old admission about Jordan's blueprint hums. "What you get from me is from him." The Bulls march into the season like a machine. 71 wins, a new NBA record, and Jordan doesn't just lead. He suffocates opponents with his control of every possession. Dwight Howard locks down the paint, Deng shines in the glue guy role, and Taj Gibson provides the grit. But at the center of it all, MJ is still the killer. Another MVP, his 5th, and another season where the numbers don't even capture the fear he puts into defenses. The playoffs bring the ultimate test. Miami's big 3 look dangerous, but Jordan smells blood in their inexperience and crushes them on the way to the finals. The showdown. Bulls versus Mavericks. Dirk Nowitzki is having the playoff run of his life, hitting shots that feel like miracles, but miracles don't faze Jordan. He slows the pace, dictates matchups, and when Dallas doubles, he picks them apart. Even Larry Bird once said, "He's the best I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of great ones." 2011 NBA Finals, Bulls defeat Mavericks 4-1. Game 5 in Dallas becomes the closer. Jordan drops 38 points, icing it with 2 clutch mid-range daggers and a fast break dish to Deng to end the series. Chicago celebrates another championship, and the dynasty feels undeniable. Magic Johnson once summed it up best. "There's Michael Jordan, and then there's the rest of us." Another banner, another MVP, another reminder. The modern NBA still bends to MJ's will. The weirdest chapter yet. For 65 games, MJ vanishes from the nightly grind. Rumors fly from bus league baseball sightings to off-court noise. But the Bulls keep the boat steady. Chicago still claws to the 3 seed on defense, pace control, and sheer infrastructure. Then the second round hits like a wall. LeBron's Heat. Miami's traps load to the nail, shrink space, and punish every turnover. Chicago bows out, and the cameras cut to June. LeBron sharpening the blade for a title run. Summer becomes a lab. Jordan leans into the mind game, breath, visualization, breaking the storm into beatable possessions. Phil's old gospel fits the moment. Greatness born from competitive fire, quieted by mindfulness when the game speeds up. The 2030 reset arrives with new guards on the gate. Goran Dragic, healthier depth, and a locker room that understands the assignment. 61 wins say the formula travels. Playoffs tighten, Miami answers. Battier levels the spacing, LeBron bends coverages, and every Bulls run meets a heat counter. Game 7 style pressure is their comfort zone now, and the defending champs live there. Who's your GOAT? Gets asked again on studio couches across America.
Hard to have this GOAT conversation with guys while we watching a guy who's still playing, right?
Good point.
Because he's going against a GOAT.
Dwyane Wade doesn't flinch. He grew up to 23. It's Michael Jordan, he said, even while flanking LeBron. And Phil, years removed, keeps circling the same thesis. MJ's competitive engine is the separator. Chicago opens like a coiled spring. Goran Dragic lives downhill. Hezzy burst, finish, piling up a clean 20 a night that widens the floor for the king of the elbow. Dwight Howard is the backline siren again, deterring layups before they happen. And Jimmy Butler's sudden leap gives the Bulls a two-way wing who mirrors MJ's edge. Practice becomes the show. Games feel routine. Jordan's tempo control returns with a vengeance. Walk-ups into mid-post footwork, quick hits and early offense, and the MVP comes back to Chicago like it never left. Dragic 2013 to 2014, 20.3 points per game, elite efficiency. The East throws a gauntlet and gets run over. Chicago stacks 1 through 12 contributions, but the close is still authored by 23. Fourth quarters turn into clinics. 2 dribbles to the nail, shoulder fake, splash, while Butler chews up the toughest assignments and Dragic cashes weak-side threes and slot drives. Even the legends nod. Allen Iverson put it simply.
That was my idol. That was my favorite. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have never been a basketball player. I wouldn't have never had the vision. You know, I truly wanted to be like Mike.
Charles Barkley? He's admitted MJ was the one dude who was simply better, period. Miami is the final exam. The Heat load the ball, switch late, and dare Chicago's role guys to beat them. They do, because Jordan scripts the answers in real time, skipping doubles to shooters, then punishing single coverage with that merciless 17-footer. 2 clutch road steals flip the series, and the United Center gets loud enough to rattle lenses. MJ's relevance in the pace and space era? Consider it settled. One last lap, same relentless drumbeat. Dwight misses 41 games, so Chicago leans on depth and discipline, Taj minutes, small ball wrinkles, Butler's star turn, and Jordan stitches it all together. The numbers scream MVP no. 6, but it's the control that tells the story. Walk-ups, into the mid-post, early clock bully drives, and those late-game reads that feel like spoilers. Reggie Miller once summed up the scouting report in plain English. On MJ,
there was no weaknesses.
The path is nasty and necessary. Cleveland gets blitzed by Dragic's pace and Butler's two-way grind. Toronto's 3-guard looks get swallowed by Chicago's switching. And every huddle hits the same thesis Jordan has lived forever, iron on iron.
I have a lot of patience as a human being, but I tend to snap at some point because I'm extremely competitive too. Just not really good enough to back it up usually. But I'm going. I'm gonna fight.
Even Steve Kerr's famous practice story, the punch and the makeup, lives here as subtext. The standard is non-negotiable. Finals Bulls Warriors, the new math versus the old master. Curry warps gravity. Even the president once called him the greatest shooter he's seen. But Chicago's scheme chases him off rhythm and bodies the glass. Game 6 becomes legend. Down 4 inside a minute, Jordan skies for the defensive board, pushes in transition, and pulls up from the slot, pure. Next trip, Golden State forces a corner look, misses, and MJ walks it down to the right elbow, snakes middle, and hits the dagger, then snuffs the last heave with perfect verticality. Confetti? Closure. 6-time NBA champion. 6-time MVP, 10-time All-NBA first team. Consistently averaged over 30 points per game in multiple seasons. Overcame modern defensive schemes, three-point emphasis, and international competition. Outperformed LeBron, Kobe, Dirk, and emerging stars in head-to-head playoff series. Jordan's simulated modern-era career shows that whether in the 1980 season, 1990 season, or 2000 season, his competitive fire, skill set, and basketball IQ remain unmatched. The numbers, victories, and clutch moments reaffirm Michael Jordan is basketball's greatest player, unbound by time or era. From rookie sensation to modern NBA legend, his story in this simulation proves that no matter the era, no matter the rules, Michael Jordan will always be the GOAT. If you like this video, Don't forget to press the subscribe button and ring the bell to not miss the latest videos from Amazing Hoops. Please leave your comments and suggestions below in the comments section, and don't forget to share this video with your friends. This action also motivates us to try harder. Have a nice day.